is a secret from the geishas that really we ladies in the Western world had no access to until Vicky Tsai made it her life's work to figure out what those geishas were doing so they could have such great skin. And look at your skin.
Oh,
it's
my
so
friend.
good to see you.
I'm so happy to be with you.
I'm so happy to see you.
you.
So Vicky created TATCHA, and really this was your mission to figure out why women in Japan, specifically the geishas, had such incredible skin. And I just want to say, when I say it was her mission, I could talk about that for the rest of the night. She sold everything she owned, including the computer chair her husband was sitting on and her engagement ring, kept the man, kept the marriage, sold the engagement ring so she could buy this book that we're going to talk about that really holds, didn't you say it's like one of the only, if the only printed copy ever of geisha skincare secrets?
We think it's the only written account of their geisha's rituals, yeah. So
it's priceless. What you found when you had it translated is what's in here. Yes. This is the Luminous Deep Hydration Firming Serum. It all started because you had found, you got this information, you created a mask, right?
That's right.
Was so popular.
That's right.
But for people who didn't want to do the mask, you brought this.
We doubled the amount of red algae and hyaluronic acid in there, and that's where this came from. That's right.
So tell me, what's it going to do to my skin?
It's going to make it luminous, deeply hydrated, and firmer, hence the name Luminous Deep Hydration Firming Serum, because I am not creative.
But she is a genius. And when you put this on, you really start getting results so quickly.
That's
in fact, this is, TATCHA products are the official products at the Ritz in San Francisco.
That's right.
In their spa. You've read about TATCHA in Women's Wear Daily, Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, Vogue, New York Times. Vogue is more times than I can count, Oprah magazine. And it's because it's an exciting story about the geishas, but it's also really changing women's skin.
Yes.
It changed your skin.
It did change my skin. I used to work for the big beauty care companies, and I did not know that I was supposed to be testing products on my arms, not my face. And I ruined my skin, and the doctor said it wasn't going back to normal. So I started traveling around the world, including Asia. I was looking for a different approach to beauty and skin and life, to be honest. And that's when I ended up meeting a geisha. And you're going to see a photo in a second of a geisha with her iconic white makeup. And that white makeup accentuates every flaw, so they've had to become really experts in their skincare over 300 years. The next photo is an iPhone photo of the same geisha.
So it's just an iPhone photo without a filter?
With no filter, no retouching, no foundation, no concealer. That is what they look like.
I guess if you have skin like that, you don't need
no face
photo tune or face tune or whatever they call it. Yeah, that's amazing.
Exactly. The next photo is of the two of us looking at what we believe is the only written account. So we've known that they have been beauty icons for 300 years, but we didn't know what they did. Now we know what they do.
Someday, we don't have time to get into it here, I think someone should do a movie about your life, and a big part of that movie should be your quest and tracking down the only known written copy of geisha skincare. It really is fascinating. I wish we could spend more time talking about it. Right. But what did you find specifically in this written record that ended up in this firming serum?
So we kept on finding reference to Okinawa red algae, and what you're going to see right here is the actual red algae. Yeah, and it's like confetti paper.
Oh
this
yeah,
is dried.
It feels like that, yeah.
Now I'm going to show you why it's so special. Right here is water, and I'm going to just put it back into the water, and in a moment you're going to see it pull the moisture into its skin because it's full of natural polysaccharides. It lives in the ocean, seawater, so in order to survive it has to be able to keep water in its system. And that's what happens over time when we get older.
Oh my gosh, it's really hydrating.
Yeah, we lose the ability to hold water in our skin. So when you're putting these natural polysaccharides in there, and we blend it with hyaluronic acid because it can hold 1,000 times its weight in water.
This is wild because I'm going to hold right down here. Look at how small these little pieces are.
And they're just coming back to life. Aren't they so much fun? Our girls would like this. This is fun to watch.
I know, this is like the coolest science fair project ever.
But what's going on? It's a moisture magnet for your skin. So if you're feeling like you just can't hold the water in your skin, you can't as you get older. And what this is doing is it's pulling it all right back in with the hyaluronic acid. So cool. And then when we did clinical and consumer use studies on this, it was magnificent. We found instantly 84% of women found that they had smoother skin.
Wow.
In 2 weeks,
instantly,
92% of women found that they had firmer and smoother skin, and remarkable results for fine lines and wrinkles, especially around the eyes. And after 4 weeks, it was 100% of women.
Okay,
100%
so
of
immediately,
women.
84%? Mm-hmm. I'd be happy with that result.
Yes.
2 weeks later, 92%. 4 weeks later, it's going to work for all of us.
Yes.
Every one of us. So keep in mind, you have 30 days to get it home, love it, or return it. But when you first developed this formula, the original formula, it was in a mask, and I know that it was really popular with celebrities, especially on the red carpet. We're in award season right now, and a lot of those celebrities will use her masks before. I mean, it is what it is. They use them before they go on the red carpet because they want the firmness and hydration. But for makeup artists who were saying, my celebrity doesn't have 15 minutes, can you give me something else? That's originally why you came up with this, right?
That's right, which is why we were delighted to find out that 84% of people were instantaneously seeing the firming and the smoothing. It's the aloe-like texture from the red algae and the hyaluronic acid that just sinks into the skin and just drinks it up. And then what you're also seeing there, if you're able to look closely, that luminosity is coming from gold. It's real gold because you're worth it, Miss Sandra.
Oh wow!
And
I'm very excited about that.
And if you look at the two hands side by side, granted one hasn't completely absorbed in yet because that was enough for like my entire upper body, but this is the one with the serum and this is the one that doesn't have the serum. One tiny pump of this aloe-like texture is enough.
Wow. So when you talk about this incredible red algae that can hold 1,000 times worth its weight in water, look at what's happened to this algae compared to the dry algae.
Yeah.
You can see what that's going to do to your skin.
Yeah, absolutely. It comes from this one beautiful little bay south of Japan called Okinawa, and you're looking at the only place where it grows.
In the world?
In the world. And then right there next to it is a little fisherman who harvests it by hand. He has a son too he's training because he's not that fast anymore. And we dry it in the sun and then that's how we get this. So this is what you're looking at.
It's only one place on Earth.
Yeah.
And no wonder until now we haven't really been able to use it. This was truly like a geisha's secret. I mean, truly a geisha's secret. I do want to let you know that if you want to go on auto delivery, that's going to be a great way to keep that easy pay coming. So it's 3 easy payments of $28.78. We'll send it out to you every 90 days for a year. So essentially we're talking about $28.78 a month. Oh my word, instant results.
It really
Firmness,
is.
Hydration.
What I love is the fact that whether you have oily skin or dry skin, combination skin, this is going to fit anywhere in your ritual. It's a serum, so it goes on clean, dry skin, and then it can go with any moisturizer. And you're going to see the benefits. If you love the purifying duo that I know that makes your skin so pretty, this is the next natural step to it.
You know, when I started using TATCHA, and first I started trying it just because I thought Vicky's story was so fascinating, and I'm like, what do those geishas know? I want to know. I started getting so many compliments on my skin and even on Facebook, women were saying to me like, what are you using? What are you using? And I was trying to think like, well, why am I getting all these compliments now? And it was really coincided with the time I first started using your cleanser. Since then, it is what it is. I mean, that's exactly what happened. And then since then I've started using some of the more products in her line. This has been the newest thing that I've been using, and it's one of the newer products here on QVC, the Luminous Deep Hydration Firming Serum. I know what this does to my skin, but I have to say, now that I'm looking at this red algae, I'm like, oh, that's why it's working so well.
It's
the way it's holding
You're
that moisture.
So right. That's
it's
exactly
fascinating.
right. It's pulling water into its system. It's a natural polysaccharides. And then the serum is also loaded with beautiful ingredients from her original heritage. So green tea, red algae, these are antioxidants for anti-aging support of your skin, while the hyaluronic acid and red algae is pulling the moisture in.
So I have a question for you. I think, you know, so many brands have interesting what we call origin stories, like how it all came to be. This idea of really mimicking what the geishas do, and of course they use so many different steps, right? You know this more than I do, like all the steps that they use. Why hasn't anyone else before you and TATCHA figured this out?
That's such a great question. They have been beauty icons for 300 years, but they only have an oral tradition. So unless you were a geisha, you wouldn't have known what they did.
So they weren't even writing down what they did. They were just learning.
They don't write it down. This wasn't even written for them or by them. It was written for people who wanted to be like them 200 years ago in 1813. And
so
what
this book's from 1813. Wow.
Yeah, this is her skin, and whether they're 80 or 20, we're seeing the same quality of skin, and the steps are so simple. The ingredients are so pure, and when I found this out, it changed everything that I knew about beauty.
Your skin is amazing.
You are kind because it wasn't. It was ruined before.
You know, I didn't actually believe you, and then I think one time we were at lunch, you showed me that picture, like her skin is so extraordinary. The other thing too is, I have to share a story you once told me. So Vicky spends a lot of time now with the geishas, and of course she's got this absolutely priceless book that is the only known written account of what they do on their skin. You told me that in one of your your last trips to Japan that you wanted to learn more from them, but when they opened up their bags, they had TATCHA.
Yes, it's very meta. I used to always meet with them and say, show me what's in your bag, show me what's in your bag, but now there's TATCHA, and so it's a little confusing.
So you were like simultaneously flattered, but you were also like, stop using my product because I need to learn more from you.
Exactly.
So like, the hundreds of years they've been doing the same steps that are very labor intensive, and now they're using TATCHA. I think it's just so remarkable.
It is wonderful, but you know what's so great about it is I love things that are time tested. We all have things that our grandmother or mother and that we did, and it's just when you've been doing something for 300 years, you're doing it because it works.
Yeah.
It's not a fad, it's not a flash in the pan, it's not the newest technology that somebody's trying to sell you. There is science in there, there is cutting edge advanced science, but it's
even when
working.
they didn't know what the science was. The women who were
know.
using these products, the geishas who still use it, they don't necessarily know why something's working. They just know it works, and they've learned it through oral tradition. You cracked the code and figured out what exactly was in their product that was working, and you put only those effective ingredients in here.
That's right, and our clean formulations promise is something that we take very seriously. There's no synthetic fragrances, no phthalates, none of the stuff that you don't want in your skin. It's red algae from Okinawa, it's hyaluronic acid, it's green tea, rice bran, beautiful ingredients that nourish your skin, love your skin, and are going to pull that moisture in for firmer, luminous skin in moments.
So as we look at that algae that's actually in here, you took a little cup of algae, it's almost filled up the entire vase of water.
I know, isn't it fun? I'm going to fill the whole puppy up. It's going to be like a garden.
So when you use this algae from Okinawa, only place in the world where it's grown and grows there naturally, tell me again about those results, what you see when you start using this at home.
Absolutely. So what you're watching here is the red algae pulling in that moisture to the skin. And with that, you're going to see 84% instantly saw smoother skin. In 2 weeks, 92% of women saw firmer skin and amazing results with their fine lines and wrinkles, especially around the eyes. And after 4 weeks, 100% of women saw firmer and smoother skin.
So use this with whatever skincare you're already using. If you're not using other products from TATCHA, use it, of course, with TATCHA if you are. But just put this on clean, dry skin, and then if you want, you can put your moisturizer on top of it.
Yeah,
right?
and when your skin is super, super hydrated, anything that you put on after it is going to be more efficacious.
Okay, awesome. Once or twice a day?
Once or twice a day.
Awesome. So 3 easy payments of $28.78. See for yourself why geishas have such beautiful skin. Vicki, it's so great to see you.
Thank you so much.
That was really cool with that algae. I love that.